You can tell me that shit is not.
I ask you to call the roll.
Elam.
Here.
Farrell. Keach.
Here.
Knapp.
Here.
Hagel.
Here.
Ritterbusch.
Here.
Smock.
Here.
Westlake.
Here.
Zobrist.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so now we move into the public hearing portion of the meeting. I'm going to let Pat, our attorney, explain what the process is for public hearings.
Thank you. Public hearing is being held tonight pursuant to published notice. Any person wishing to make a comment to the Plan Commission will be afforded an opportunity to do so and will give their testimony under oath or affirmation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the Plan Commission will make a recommendation to the Village Board. The Plan Commission makes recommendations only. The Village Board is responsible for taking final action on these matters.
Thank you. And we just have one item for public hearing this evening. It's a pre-annexation agreement. Is there anyone here from that who would like to speak? I think you need to be sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. And go ahead and state your name.
If you would give your name and address, that'd be great.
I'm Wayne Brandt, and I live at 344 Magnolia Avenue, Morton. And I'm here today to propose a annexation of an outlot on Westview Hills subdivision on the north end, adjacent to my property, which is lot 13, which I guess, I don't know if you can see the 344, but hopefully you have the materials that I handed out or gave Roger. The property was purchased at the same time as the lot that's in the village. It is currently in the county. The reason I would like to annex it is that I would like to build a shed on it or a workshop, and the county won't let me do that unless I put a house on it. It has to have some kind of residence on it, so they suggested I come here and ask for an annexation so that I could then get it annexed and attached to my property that has currently got a house on it, and be able to then build a shed or a workshop. I haven't decided how big yet. I have to work with Roger on what is allowed.
Can you point on the map to your home?
Yes. This is it right here. So this is the property. And then the big triangle up to the green dot, all the way over here is the 6 acres. It's all timber. One of the problems is that it's really, I don't know how you would subdivide it if you ever wanted to do that. I certainly don't want to do that. I'm going to keep it as part of my current property. It's got gullies. This is the creek right here, this line right here, and there's a railroad easement, or the abandoned railroad, and also the village sewage easement goes through here, and it's all down in the gully. It's really rather deep. The only real way to get to anything, there's a little bit of flat area up in here, and this is where I would build the shed, and the only way to get to it is really through my driveway, because there's really no other access. Any other questions?
Any questions from the board? Hearing none, thank you very much. Is there anybody from the audience who would like to speak to this issue? And there is no one. So this is not something where we're actually taking action, or are we taking?
Recommendation.
Making a recommendation? Okay, so do I hear a motion?
Motion is made.
Recommend this pre-annexation? Second. First and seconded. Any discussion? I'd ask that you take the roll.
Keach.
Yes?
Knapp.
Yes.
Hagel.
Yes.
Ritterbusch.
Yes.
Smock.
Yes.
Westlake.
Yes.
Zobrist.
Yes.
And Elam.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We have other business tonight. There's a preliminary plat to consider, and I'm going to let Roger take it.
There is a copy of the preliminary plat on the table in front of you there, and it's the conceptual drawing as well. It shows what their plan is in the future, and as you can see, we looked at this a year ago maybe. It goes through the various phases that they're going to, and they're numbered there, so you can kind of see the progression of this. Everything is worked out in terms of stormwater detention. There are no issues at all. It follows the plan that they laid out early on.
Any questions from the board for Roger?
And there is, I would point out, section 4, which is would be the northwest corner, directly above to the north of the piece that we're looking at now. That will be another way in and out of that subdivision. So there will be more than one way in, one way out.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I was surprised nobody came tonight, because I think when we changed this to R1A, we had some residents that were concerned
Right.
about the traffic on Oregon.
Yeah.
Correct. Do we know like a general time frame for Section 4?
Well, they just paved section 3, which was the last one that you would have approved, and now they're doing this, so it could even be this time next year, if not sooner. I think they're somewhat up in the air, because they don't know how quickly they're going to sell out or build out. So.
Right.
But that's their plan. They want to keep this moving. So they would have Monroe Street, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, and as ways in and out right now, and then eventually this York will go out to Jackson Street. Next phase.
Right, and then by the time it's done, it also exits out to Tennessee.
Yes, if there's, well, it doesn't go to Tennessee, it just goes, that road just stops. That's actually where you see Hanover, that's where the village has that future site, possibly for a fire station.
Ah, got it.
I don't know that road may not go through there. I don't know how that's going to end up.
Roger, I'd like to see a label on that area. There's labels on all the other sections, but not on this area, section 3.
What was that now?
The label, there's nothing in writing on here that says this is section 3, other than the title block.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't identify it on the plan itself.
Right,
All the other sections are identified, but not.
except this one. I think they just did it because they put that in the bold, with the bold border.
Right.
I'm just curious, where is the storm retention? Where is the water?
Kathy, when you look at that drawing, you see the kind of hatched out dotted area?
Okay, like along the backs of 148, 147, 146, that part?
Yes, yep, that's it.
Okay. So
And
is
a
that
lot of
con-
that's already in place now, so,
This is that elongated.
yeah. Just for what it's worth, they needed to do some mowing out there, and I called them in the morning, and shortly after lunch, I happened to just be out there, and it was already mowed. And they're pretty responsive. They try to do the right thing.
So Roger, do you think that labeling is sufficient the way it is?
Okay, I can get a hold of Austin and have him put that on there.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? If none, I would call a roll. Is this an approval on this?
We need a motion?
Or a motion, I'm sorry, we need a motion to approve it.
That may be, in terms of labeling it, whether you want to include that or not in your motion. If you notice in the other sections where they put labels on, it's obscured portions of the specs of each lot. So that may be why it's not labeled, is because they didn't want to cut out a lot line or a measurement. And since the plat itself is labeled as being for that section, it's up to you guys as whether you want to make that a requirement for approval. But I would suggest that it's, as Roger said, it's legally sufficient as it is.
I will do whatever you ask me to do.
I would think it's adequate.
Pardon?
I would think it's adequate as is.
Okay, all right, good, I'm good with that.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve section 3.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Net,
Yes.
Pagel,
Yes.
Ritterbush,
Yes.
Smock,
Yes.
Westlake,
Yes.
Zobrist,
Yes.
Elam,
Yes.
and Keach.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're down to staff comments. Roger, do you have anything tonight to talk about?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Mr. Newhouse?
Just a couple of quick observations with respect to the first pre-annexation agreement. Some of you might have noticed that there was no annexation fee or development fee associated with that. That is similar to one other you had in the not-so-far distant past, where there was a parcel of land that went with a piece of property that had been platted off. Who knows why, back in the dark and misty past, somewhere it was done that way. And we've kind of taken the position that since people aren't really doing commercial development, more of a housekeeping measure, it's to the benefit of the village to have that combined with property and zoned R1. So that's why you just had a plat to approve, and there was no development fee associated with it. And on the Fieldstone subdivision, we talked a little bit about the drainage. That is that elongated drainage that we made possible with the revision of the ordinance a couple of years ago to allow the narrower, deeper lots. And my sense is that's probably working out pretty well. Based on some of the ones I've seen elsewhere, I think it's much more attractive than the big round ponds that require a lot of maintenance. So I know Craig Loudermilk's put a lot of work into the site plan development with this. So that just is kind of an interesting side note, I guess, for me. But that's all I have.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Second?
Second.
Second, please. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.